Damian Lillard demanding out from the Portland Trail Blazers, flirting with the idea for years. Loyalty is most important. After giving the organization several chances to get things right, they only made things wrong. As patient and tolerable a superstar there is in the game today, the players who remain loyal to their own teams that drafted them have surrounded their supporting cast with championship-level talent. No better example than the last 3 Finals MVPs. Think Nikola Jokic with Denver, Steph Curry Golden State, and Giannis Milwaukee, giving the Bucks more time to figure out the pieces that match, with many disgruntled stars today complaining about their teams every single year. All that drama, unhappiness, bouncing from team to team. At the end of the day, those individuals need to look at themselves in the mirror and stop whining. The James Harden, Ben Simmons, and Kyrie Irvings of the world. Other stars like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Will Chamberlain ended up winning with the Lakers, but took them several years to get over the hump. 8 NBA stars who demanded a trade and won a title instantly with the new team. Dating all the way back to 1970, Oscar Robertson demanded out of Cincy after 10 seasons, regarded as the most skilled all-around guard the league has ever seen. After 3 straight seasons of no playoffs, aging and running out of time, a trade that paired him with Lou Alcindor in exchange for Flynn Robinson and Charlie Paul, a highway robbery due to Robertson and head coach Bob Cousy beefing, an uneasy relationship between coach and player because Oscar had a no-trade clause, vetoed the trade from the Baltimore Bullets. Many believe Cousy being jealous of Oscar breaking some of his records. With financial issues and a big contract, Robertson and Kareem dominated the league, 66 wins, 112-2 in the playoffs, destroyed everybody, no longer the best on his team, became a 19-6-8 guy, couldn't have made a better decision, his first and only title. His legacy changed due to after being traded, couldn't have asked for a more perfect time, slowly regressed after. Earl Monroe, the original Black Jesus, the former Knicks legend, started off with the Baltimore Bullets, 4 seasons plus 3 total games in 71-72. New York acquired him November 10, 1971 for Mike Reardon and Dave Stallworth plus an undisclosed amount of cash. 36, 57, 50, and 42 wins. New York a huge rival. Monroe bitter in the contract dispute, refusing to play for Baltimore, wanted to go to Philly, Chicago, or LA. Team suspended him, going to a 52-win Knicks team, having the cash to pay off Monroe. Baltimore went on to lose to Monroe's Knicks. Missed the basketball artistry, the spin moves, pump fakes, and change of speed from a New York rival to becoming a Knicks legend himself. Knocked off New York's chances of repeating in 1971 Game 7 road win. Is like the Bad Boys' Isaiah Thomas after losing to Larry Bird, demanding a trade to join Boston, an absolute absurd trade demand to end up in the most unlikely squad, and sharing the offense with Walt Frazier. Monroe eventually mastered Red Holzman's system, his production cut in half, at times even bench, after losing to the 69-win Lakers in 72. Changed his game, a game-clinching 23 points to 73 finals, beating the Lakers in Game 5, sacrificed his individual numbers for team success. Although he's only been a 4-time All-Star, not mentioned like the older greats in Jerry West and Clyde Frazier, one of the rare background legends who proved to be portable in various NBA systems when it came to winning. Mark Aguirre from the Dallas Mavericks to the Detroit Pistons. Similar to the Durant OKC situation, coming off a Game 7 loss to Showtime, the 3 seed, both also went to a team that was deemed the favorite to win the title the following year. Aguirre, the 29-year-old, Durant was 27 at the time, with a combination of Isaiah Thomas wanting management to get his buddy. Both balled together in Chicago as kids. Mark went from a first option to 3rd or 4th. Being super outspoken in Dallas caused headaches, totally changed his style of play, knowing he could still average in the 20s. The defense and chemistry improved on point. Detroit went 15-2 the 1989 playoffs, swept the Lakers, repeated in 90. Absolute true sacrifice, made him a 2-time champion, doesn't get enough credit. Clyde Drexler from Portland to Houston. Just like 2023 Dame Lillard, Drexler actually had massive playoff success with the team, 2 finals appearances, sensing the window closing. The 32-year-old Dame Lillard, currently 32, still elite level talent, 22 a game. actually lost to Hakeem's Rockets the year before. For a star who spent a dozen years in Portland, nobody could blame him for demanding out. Hurt and frustrated in '94, many longtime Drexler fans were honorary Rockets fans when him and Hakeem won the '95 title. A similar situation with Lillard. Drexler hated how Portland started to rebuild when his days as a legit star dwindled down, gave up Kevin Duckworth, just like the Blazers now planning to focus on rookie Scoot Henderson and not giving Dame what he needs to truly contend. Very similar situations. Houston got rid of Otis Dork and a pick. Drexler became the second option, balled out with his college teammate Hakeem. Earned the toughest path to winning a title, no home court advantage, faced teams winning between 57 to 62 games. Drexler played 3 more seasons in H-Town. Had he stayed in Portland a little bit longer, likely would have never gotten that ring. Shaquille O'Neal, from fighting with Kobe Bryant to getting shockingly upset by the Pistons when there were failed negotiations. Management hesitated to throw in big money for the 32-year-old after Phil Jackson got fired. Without Shaq's knowledge, one of the two between him and Kobe were going to be traded, and the Lakers decided on the older O'Neal. A blockbuster deal, July 14th, Lamar Odom, Caron Butler, Brian Grant, and 2 picks, still the best big men in the game and a top 5 player. O'Neal's presence made Miami instant contenders. From 42 to 59 wins, even finished second in MVP voting. Team even drew a parade for him when he came down to South Beach, destined to win a title. Up 3-2 versus the defending champs. Wade suffered a rib injury Game 5, kept him out Game 6, wasn't 100% for Game 7. Detroit ended up winning that one. But the very next season, Shaq's last superstar caliber year with Wade's emergence, O'Neal missed 24 games, struggled mightily in the finals before encouraging Wade to take over after down 0-2. Despite a lackluster series versus Dallas, another ring proved he could win with more than one coach and a different type of system, while all their doubts were focused on Kobe as a team player. Kevin Garnett, Minnesota to Boston, one of the very best players for his era. After 3 straight failed playoffs, the 31-year-old's time ticking, just like Dame Lillard with the Blazers. Garnett even had less playoff success, winning just 2 series in 12 seasons with the franchise. The failures of losing picks from the Joe Smith debacle and having only one true contending team in 2004, KG didn't like having to demand a trade at the time, but looking back, his only regret was not leaving Minnesota earlier.
My only regret in any of this is that I should have came to Boston a little earlier.
Combined with being in the loaded West, had he stayed with the Wolves all his career, his legacy wouldn't even be anywhere close to how we view him today. There were still doubts surrounding his presence with the lack of playoff wins, but completely changed Boston around, only cared about winning, sacrificed his scoring to become his team's main defensive anchor, won DPOY. The previous year, Paul Pierce won just 24 games. KG transformed the C's to 66 wins, best defense. Their toughest task in the postseason actually came from the weaker teams. Atlanta and Cleveland took them to 7. An offensive struggle for Ray Allen before flipping the switch versus Detroit, out-physical the Lakers. Garnett, the most consistent Celtic the entire 08 title run, quickly got his ring and silenced all the critics. Team started off 27-2 the following year, but had knee issues. Likely was going to be Boston's best all-around team, but after just 4 games in March couldn't return. Team lost to Orlando in the semis. Big Ticket regressed a bit in 2010, falling the last game of the finals. 08 being the lone title year for the Big Three, a little underwhelming. Had Garnett took his talents to the East a year early, we would have seen a Garnett-Duncan final showdown. Pau Gasol 2008, after some success from 04 to 06, swept in 3 consecutive postseasons after a disastrous 07 campaign, a league worst 22 wins. Memphis missed out on the Odin and Durant sweepstakes. Lakers Kobe demanded out summer of 07 before remaining put. LA didn't really add much stars, only upgrade the point guard position with Derek Fisher replacing Smush Parker, plus the improvements of Andrew Bynum and Kobe's leadership approach. Gasol being traded to Los Angeles caught everybody off guard. Looked like highway robbery at first. Before brother Mark became legit, Kobe and Pau immediately established chemistry, went 22-5 together, lost to a more ready Celtics team. Gasol then installed the Mamba mentality after being beat by his Lakers teammate in the Olympics. Pau became the perfect second option, gave LA multiple options with their Odom, Bynum, Pau lineup, 3 7-footers who dominated the glass, overpowered smaller guys, excellent ball movement in the triangle, showed toughness throughout the 09 title run, especially with tough playoff-minded Denver and even outplaying Dwight Howard in the finals. The moment we knew Powell wasn't going to be stopped, last seconds of Game 4 09 finals, getting in the face of Michael Petrus after an and one, knowing he can't be messed with, setting him up for the battle of his career, beating the 2010 Celtics, a 19.18 rebound Game 7 masterpiece, 9 offensive boards, the defining moment of his career. Kawhi Leonard, summer 2018, just 9 games, played with injury, lots of hostility and rumors about the Spurs medical staff, a culture second to none, all about winning. But Leonard being uncomfortable with the franchise, a major shock, rumors of going to the Lakers after a serious quad injury, unknown speculations, San Antonio still a major contender had he been healthy, but the Spurs being the Spurs wasn't just gonna send him to his preferred destination, but shifted him all the way to Canada, alongside Danny Green for DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, and the first. Toronto, already an established team with all-star Kyle Lowry, allowed Kawhi to load manage 60 games played. Team also traded for Marc Gasol before the deadline. Kawhi wasn't even considered a top 5 player before the playoffs, but absolutely destroyed everybody. The game winner on Philly to outplaying MVP Giannis led the franchise to his first title, a remarkable 1-year rental, his greatness cemented in Raptors history before deciding to take his talents to Los Angeles. Had Kawhi decided to stay in Toronto, perhaps they would have won even more titles. Anthony Davis, normally quiet, everyone knew his tenure at NOLA short-lived when he signed with agent Rich Paul and Clutch. Rumors already spread it. Then in January 2019, Davis aggressively demanded out and wanted to go to the Lakers. Of course it was inevitable, but Dell Demps being complicated, wanted everything he can grab. Deal could have been done by the deadline, but the Pels decided to wait till after the season. New Orleans' last game wore a shirt saying, "That's all folks," the perfect piece to pair with LeBron, great role players loaded in every position, healthy for most of the year, put up above 26 and 9, second in DPOY voting, a man possessed in the bubble, unstoppable on both ends, was in the conversation as even a top 3 player in the game, and neck with Giannis. Had AD came to Los Angeles a year later, his injuries likely would have gotten in the way. Super inconsistent, but elite when healthy, a defensive beast 2023 postseason. Although his scoring went down, the 30-year-old still proves to have a lot left. While guys like Kobe and Scottie Pippen demanded a trade, remained put with their teams, ended up winning more titles. Charles Barkley demanded out in '92, but came up short with Phoenix to Jordan. While J. Kidd demanded out of New Jersey, didn't win a title till 3 years after with the Mavs. The great Moses Malone traded in his prime to Philly, didn't demand out himself, but the Rockets simply didn't want to pay for him, accepted a sign and trade to the Sixers as a restricted free agent, while Dennis Rodman specifically didn't demand to go to Chicago '95. Pippen wanted no part of him, but San Antonio had no leverage. Phil Jackson and MJ confident they could manage him, and that's all she wrote. Thanks so much for watching. Will Dame Lillard join this list in 2024 or 25, or is he not quite on these guys' level? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you next time.